I was looking into potential right-back options for FC Bayern because, of course, that's been an area of vulnerability all season. The big brain one's been constantly shifting between the likes of King Konrad Laimer, Josip Stanisic. Don't forget Stanisic, he did win a Bundesliga title out on loan with Leverkusen last season. Anyway, so yeah, there's been a rotation between the likes of King Konrad, Stanisic, Sasha Bowie. I mean, Bowie was brought in for, what, 30 odd million euro from Galatasaray? If you talk to Dishy Danny from Always Buying Chelsea, you talk to Liam and co from the Buying View, the feeling there is that it's not quite worked out. And actually, Galatasaray have since come forward and said, look, if you don't want him, we'll take him back on loan and we'll make you an offer, you can't refuse, to bring him back permanently. Anyway, so it just got me thinking, like, who could slot in at right back? And then, of course, I'm scouring the internet for options because I care about the content and the quality of content we serve up. Anyway, we've stumbled upon this. Anyone recognise this chap? I know this is a video, not a live stream. If it was a live stream, you could just write in the chat, couldn't you? Which is usually this side. Anyway, this is a video. So this is Pedro Porro. It's a rhetorical question, by the way. Yeah, Pedro Porro. So this was earlier this week, by the way. Manchester City, Barcelona, and Bayern Munich all in the race. There's always a race, isn't there? There's always a race with transfers. I love that. The drama that we build up for clickbait. Always a race. These three big sides. Oh, poor grammar, Craig. Come on. These three serial winning sides, both domestically and in European competition, are all in the race to sign Pedro Porro this summer. This is according to Cut Offside. I'm not going there just yet. Whoa, back it up, son. Back it up. Let me begin. We come here to BavarianFootballWorks.com, trusted source. We like the material. There he is, looking at. Well, again, we're not. Whoa. Disclaimer: we're not Tottenham fans. You know, we are closet Arsenal fans. Although I do respect that kit; it's pretty nice, and I'm sure that Jack from the Taftman community, and all you Tottenham fans, all you Spurs fans, would probably like that kit too. Anyway, let's focus less on the threads and more on the news thread. See what I did there? Anyway, Bayern are eyeing Porro. This was according to a bigger article, which we'll get to in a second, on hard tackle. Hard tackle reminds me of Kaisho Sano. He's a hard tackler, isn't he? Hard tackler from mind. The right back position at Bayern Munich is one that's getting a lot of attention these days, as we said at the top of the episode. King Konrad Laimer, a central midfielder by trade, has emerged as the starter this season, while Josip Stanisic has reportedly been moving to centre-back. Well, it's true, it's happened for a lot this season. Sasha Bowie is expected to be sold. Wow, it's like they were reading my minds. And Rafael Guerrero, a utility player, he's played a few games in that position, but currently he's been used at left-back. These are all options for the big brain one, Vincent Kompany. It would not be altogether shocking. I like that grammar. It would not. Very Shakespearean, isn't it? It would not be altogether shocking, dear son, to see Bayern Munich bolster the position if they sell Bowie. But does the club already have a prime target in Tottenham Hotspur's Pedro Porro? Let's find out. Here, look, and these are just some thoughts. Apparently Spurs are gearing up to sell Porro, which I don't quite understand, and we'll dig more into that as we go along. Pedro's dynamic style of play has reportedly caught the attention of the big brain one as he looks to fortify the flanks. Clap that phrase in. Under Kompany's guidance, Bayern are aiming to revamp their defensive line, so they're going through an effective Football Manager style rebuild. They're revamping their defensive line with a player who can balance defensive solidarity with attacking flair. Porro, known for his aggressive runs forward, pinpoint crosses and defensive tenacity, well, he fits the role perfectly. Since making the switch from Sporting Club de Portugal, which currently is where Victor Gyökeres plays his football, is he coming to Arsenal? Or any other Premier League club? We'll have to watch that one. I'll have to watch that one. Since making his permanent switch, we're back to Pedro Porro. Since making his switch from Sporting Club de Portugal in 2023, the Spaniard has cemented his status as one of the Premier League's top right backs, combining defensive discipline with an impressive output. Although FC Bayern, not on their own now, are they? Barcelona and Manchester City are also credited with being interested in the Spaniard. They're in the race too. Everyone's in the race. Barcelona, though, got problems, haven't they? They ain't got the readies. They've overspent. And I think that goes back to Philippe Coutinho. I asked this in a video recently. Was it €145 million or somewhere in that region that Barcelona paid Liverpool for Philippe Coutinho? Wow, that certainly had long-term implications. And the irony was, if my memory serves me correct, that Coutinho dumped... Oh, hang on, to get this right. I think he dumped out Barcelona whilst being on loan at Bayern Munich. I'm sure that was during the COVID era. Yeah, I'm sure that was that. Was it 8-3 or 8-1, 8-2 on aggregate? Anyway, I know that Munich scored 8 against Barcelona, and I'm pretty sure that despite paying €148 million for Coutinho, they sent him out on loan to Munich, and I'm sure he ended up putting him out of the Champions League. Oh, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, that wasn't a rhetorical. That was a plea. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section down below. Pretty sure that backfired, that transfer, and it's put them in perennial debt. Anyway, back to here. Look, so Barcelona have got problems with the readies. They're unlikely to meet Tottenham's valuation, whilst Manchester City, they're looking for a more cost-effective solution. Well, they're probably not going to get that with Pedro Porro. Whilst it's an intriguing thought, Bayern could get away with another season with King Conrad Laimer. Absolutely, of course they can. And Stanisic. Let's jump then to this hard tackle article. And again, I'll put all these news links, well, the major ones, in the description box down below. Bayern Munich eyeing Pedro Porro swoop. That was earlier this week. Munich are reportedly keen on a summer move for Tottenham Hotspur star Pedro Porro. This is part of a, again, football manager style overhaul or rebuild, football manager rebuild. The right back position is of focus, damn right it is, for all you Munich fans. Pedro Porro is a standout candidate as a prime target for the Bavarian Giants. Porro's dynamic style of play has reportedly caught the attention of Vincent Kompany as he looks to fortify the flanks. That phrase has been used again, and it's all that eloquent writing, all that prose. Look, known for his aggressive runs forward, pinpoint crosses, and defensive tenacity. That is a profile that fits perfectly. There you go. It has been a problem area all season, and there we go. Look, this is it, and we'll jump to this article soon. This is Fichajes. Again, any Spanish speakers out there, please feel free to correct me. I'm not sure how you do that. You could write it phonetically, I suppose. Yeah, you could write it out phonetically, or do your own video and drop a link to it down below. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to go with Fichajes. According to that Spanish website, Spurs have slapped a €60 million price tag on the 25-year-old, which does reflect his growing importance in the squad. Although then, bizarrely, what's the reason for wanting to sell him? Daniel Levy, you crazy, crazy man. I'm sure that other Tottenham fans would agree. There we are. With Benjamin Pavard, I mean, again, talk about players haunting their former clubs. Benjamin Pavard scored, didn't he? Against Bayern Munich, FC Bayern, in the quarter-final of the Champions League, a header from a corner. Was it 2 goals in 3 minutes or 4 minutes that effectively sealed Munich's fate in that one? Yeah, that was for Inter against FC Bayern, so you got to be careful. He did celebrate it as well, didn't he? Which I'm sure, actually, it did wind up the likes of Liam from the Bayern view. Yeah, poor taste there, but I suppose caught in the moment in the quarter-final, which you're going to go a bit mental at you. Anyway, but with Benjamin Pavard departing and other right-backs failing to impress, the need for a proven, experienced and versatile full-back, I'll say that one again because they're important linguistic phrases, the need for a proven, experienced and versatile full-back has become more urgent. Porro's ability to deliver accurate crosses and maintain defensive discipline makes him an ideal candidate to slot seamlessly into Bayern's back line. Bayern, of course, have been looking at Jonathan Tah, and we did a video on that. We did a video speculating where Jonathan Tah might end up. Is it going to be Bayern Munich? Barcelona seems unlikely because, again, they've got financial problems. See previous conversation about the Philippe Coutinho transfer disaster. Is Jonathan Tah going to go to the Premier League? Is he going to go to Chelsea? Is he going to go to Newcastle? Is he going to go to Manchester United? More likely, it's either going to be Real Madrid because he can link up with former boss, former coach, Xabi Alonso, or it's going to be Bayern Munich because he would slot in where Eric Dyer would have been, because Eric Dyer's going to AS Monaco. That deal, doing my search now, be impression, that's been confirmed. He's on his way out. Last game today, though, I believe. Yeah, he should be in the... Well, he was in the probable lineup, and we did all that in a video as well, which I will link down below. A lot going on down below today, and I mean in the description box, not that kind of channel. Yeah, we'll link that one. So if Jonathan Tah comes in and Eric Dyer goes out, Min-Jae Kim's likely to go out as well because he's been told that, see that door, son? Close it on your way out, will you? Min-Jae Kim's been allowed to leave, or more likely being pushed out the door. Newcastle and Chelsea interested in the South Korean centre-back. Anyway, we did that video about Jonathan Tah, linked in the description down below. Let's get this back on track. And of course, Jonathan Tah's a centre-back and Pedro Porro's a right-back. So all that, you can just... it's... Blame the autism. But hey, it keeps us sharp, doesn't it? That's a lot of money that Munich are looking to spend this summer. 180 million, because really they want Florian Wirtz, don't they? Old Flirts. Where's he going? We'll come back to that another day. Anyway, it's also true, apparently, that Barcelona and Manchester City are after Porro. Yeah, we feel like we're covering that one. That's accurate. And then this was interesting on Tribuna.com for this phrase in particular. According to TBR, and we'll get to that site in a second, Bayern are now tracking Tottenham's right-back Pedro Porro. The Spaniard is considered a standout because he's driving the attacking play at Tottenham. Yes. And also, this is a key one here, look. Signing Pedro Porro would bolster Bayern's right flank, very true, with the Spaniard's strong dribbling and forward-thinking play, adding dynamism to their back line. One more time. Signing Pedro Porro to FC Bayern would add to their right flanks because the Spaniard possesses traits such as strong dribbling and forward-thinking play, which would add dynamism to FC Bayern's back line. And here is that TBR article. What the future holds for Porro at Tottenham. Left back is Destiny Undoggy. Great pickup on Football Manager, by the way, FM24. He's brilliant for the Italian side as well, who came up against the Mannschaft, Germany, in that UEFA Nations League quarter-final, which was won by the Mannschaft. Where's this? Manchester City, Juventus entering the fray along with Bayern Munich. So that's just confirmation of where he might be going. Do you know what? Let's take a look. Oh, this is caught offside as well. This is interesting. This just, again, calls out that down here, look. German champions Bayern Munich could also consider a move for Porro if they sell Sacha Boey in the summer transfer window. And like we've said, Galatasaray have come in and said, you know what? If you don't want him, send him back here on loan. And ultimately, we'll make you a deal you can't refuse, and we'll bring him back on a permanent basis. So yeah, potentially, Sacha Boey could be going back to Galatasaray. Let's take a look at him, because, you know, we are 15 minutes in. Let's take a look. Here is Pedrick Porro. Here's Pedro Porro. Look, he's 25 years of age. He is 5'9". Yeah, there you go. So it's more like my height. 1m73. It's more my height. 5'9". Right back. Spanish. This season, he's played 32 times for Tottenham. He's come up with 2 goals and 6 assists. That's a good number. That ideally you want that to be 8, 9, 10, but you know, 32 appearances, 2 goals, 6 assists. He's played in the Europa League where he's come up against Eintracht Frankfurt. He's come up against SGE de Adler this season. Actually, as you may know, Tottenham did knock SGE out of the Europa League. That was at the quarter-final stage. Anyway, Porro's played 12 times in the Europa League. He's come up with 2 goals and 3 assists. And he's played a couple of times in the FA Cup, which is the English version of the DFB Pokal. Oh, I also played in the League Cup as well. The old Carabao Cup. We love a bit of Carabao, bit of D-list energy drink. We love that here. And he's played for the national team. Look at that. He's played for Spain 6 times. As recent as the recent UEFA Nations League. Look, he played against Xabi Simons in the quarter-final. Look at that. Played 90 minutes in the first game and just 26 second time round, second quarter-final. Here's some more information from whoscored.com. We love to use that resource. Highest rated fullback/wingbacks in the Premier League this season. Yes, Trent's on there. Trent's on his way to Real Madrid. Boo or yay, whatever you want to... Whichever your interpretation, Liverpool fan, don't forget he was a servant for your club. Did help you win 2 Premier Leagues and a Champions League. Pedro Porro, look. 6.98 average rating so far this season. And then we look at this post as well, looking at the data. Premier League fullback, progressive passes completed. Key stat. We called this out in a video about Angela Stiller. Whether you think he looks more like a boxer than a footballer. We did a video on Angela Stiller. He's interested by Arne Slot at Liverpool. We'd like to see him in that, in that double pivot. So you could potentially, as Liverpool, you could play him alongside Ryan Gravenbach. You could play him instead of, and then you push Alexis McAllister. He's got 2 brothers, what they call. They could push him up, couldn't you, into a number 10 position. It'd fit brilliant. Angela Stiller, technically gifted footballer, such an epic range of passing. Also got very high. In fact, he's top 4 in all the European leagues, Angela Stiller, in terms of progressive passes completed. Back here then to Pedro Porro. Progressive passes completed. This is in the Premier League in the UK. Look at that. It's on that list. Currently 3rd with 220. Very, very nice. And then again, you could look at him. This is what you could expect from Pedro Porro in the Premier League. So what's that? 32 appearances, 27 starts, 5 off the bench. Again, 2 goals, 6 assists at 8 goal involvements. We've called out that rating because it was featured here, look, on this whoscored.com actual X post, which is brilliant. This is what you get from him. On an average 90 minutes. An average 90 minutes, you can expect 2 tackles, 1.1 interceptions, 2.3 clearances and 0.5 blocks. So he's really putting that shift in. And then going forward, because he's a right back/wing back, you can expect 1.8 key passes, 0.4 dribbles. Pass completion rates, well, it's not going to be amazing because he's not, well... I assume he's more of a let's get the ball in and cross it, whip it in, of which you can expect 1.9 per game. An all-round valuable option he would be. And here's confirmation that this was in that Europa League quarter-final against De Adler, against SGE, against Frankfurt. And there he is, look, playing as a right-back. And actually, if you look at his Bayern Munich's last game, that was their 2-0 win over Gladbach. That was Thomas Muller's last ever home game in the Bundesliga. Last ever home game in the Bundesliga. His 750th game overall. His 502nd game in the Bundesliga. Yeah, great stats there from Thomas Muller. Anyway, what am I looking at? You would play him as right back. Konrad Laimer was playing as a right back in that game. Again, Stanisic can play right back. Although in the Meisterschale winning season for Leverkusen under Xabi Alonso, don't forget, again, that was an invincible year. Stanisic was in there mostly playing as a centre-back, which was, yeah, there you go. So a bit of continuity, I suppose, for this season. But anyway, there, confirmation that Pedro Porro was playing as a right back for Tottenham, and if he was playing for Munich, you just slot him straight in there, look, and let him go up and down. Oh, look, there's Instagram friendly Robin Hack. What else did I want to call out here? Yeah, there's some more news articles from Tottenham dedicated websites, fan sites here, to the lane and back. I like that. Nice sounding website. Bayern Munich earmarks summer move for 25-year-old Spurs star. Bayern Munich have identified Tottenham's Pedro Porro as a serious option to reinforce their defensive unit next season. You could create a little mini Spurs within Bayern Munich. That's the point of this article, really, that they've got Kane up front scoring bag loads of goals. You had Eric Dyer as the centre-back, and you could put Pedro Porro at right-back. All you need is Fraser Forster in goal. That's not going to happen, is it? Because the successor to Manny Neuer is little pint-sized Jonas Erbig. Anyway, yeah, there's an interesting article, and they call out this Spanish media outlet Fisher Hez, which we'll come on to very soon. Anyway, confirmation here, look, that Daniel Levy wants to offload Pedro Porro. Tottenham ready to sell Pedro Porro for 50 million this summer, with Manchester City, Bayern Munich and Juventus all interested. Again, there's some more Tottenham dedicated sites. Here's the Boy Hotspur. Pedro Porro will be a superb addition to the German champions. He's got the attributes to succeed at the highest level. The opportunity to join the German champions could be very attractive for him. It remains to be seen whether he'll join up with Harry Kane. However, the reported asking price is quite steep. That said, Bayern Munich they've got to strengthen in other areas first. It could happen though, right? Again, the point with this article, the priority for FC Bayern is Florian Wirtz, right? They're desperate to get him. Max Eberl's future role within FC Bayern, according to an ex-post that we found the other day, relies upon him basically balancing the books, bringing the wage bill down, but also attracting and sealing that deal for Florian Wirtz. So a lot of pressure on Max Eberl. I know we might occasionally sort of mock him, but I don't envy him. He's in a tough spot, you know. He turns up on those presses, doesn't he, with Vincent Kompany. He's in the stands. He's doing all those photo shoots. He's brought in Harry Kane. That was brilliant. That was a shrewd bit of business because he's won the title. All right, didn't win it last year, but last year was a freak year. We can write that off. And you have managed to course correct it by winning the Meisterschale this year. I'm talking directly to you all Munich fans. But Max Eberl, that's a tough place to be because you've got to. I mean, there's the ongoing saga with Leroy Sané, which it looks like he's just going to go on a free now because the old Bond villain, Pini Zahini, who's the new agent for Leroy Sané, who's basically said, well, we want to counter your offer. We want a signing fee. My client wants a signing fee and a better deal. All right, if you can't give me a better deal, we want a signing fee as a bare minimum. Munich have basically, with Mr. Eberl, have gone, no, that's not happening. So it looks like he's going to go away for a free on a Bosman. So we'll have to watch this space. Anyway, the point I'm trying to say is that he's got to balance those books. And actually, there were also, I read the other day that Eberl and co are leveraging their relationship with Adidas to try and use the sportswear partner to basically front load the cash to make this Florian Wirtz transfer happen. So again, all that's swirling around, isn't it? It's going on day by day. Yeah, Max Eberl, he's feeling the pressure. Bless him. He is feeling the pressure. A few more Tottenham sites here. Look, Tottenham will only consider selling Pedro Porro, but under one condition. Ooh, wonder what that might be. Is it money? Yes, it is. As we come down here. Yes, 60 to 65 million euro. That's the condition. And again, we spell out here that, well, it's unlikely that Barcelona could afford that. Manchester City, with their oil money, they could afford that. And then here another. This is that Spanish website. This was the drum roll. We were building up to this one. Look, the European giant who wants to sign Pedro Porro. This is your Fischer Hez. Bayern Munich have decisively entered the summer transfer market with a clear goal. Well, I'd argue that clear goal is to sign Florian Wirtz, but to sign Pedro Porro. Spanish fullback is one of Vincent Kompany's explicit requests. I want that guy. Again, won't do the voice. Because that would spare Joshua Kimmich to play permanently in midfield. He's a very attractive option. He can, this is Pedro Porro, his ability to exploit spaces, provide precise assists and maintain defensive integrity make him a strategic option for Bayern, which aims to raise the quality level. Here you go, one more time. Pedro Porro's ability to exploit spaces, provide precise assists and maintain defensive intensity makes him a strategic option for Bayern. Wow, there you go. Although 60 to 65 million euro is the valuation. A few more Tottenham sites here. Again, kind of going over the old ground. This is caughtoffside.com again, spelling out that those three clubs, or two, three clubs. Barcelona, Manchester City and FC Bayern all interested. Again there. That's 442 commenting that, well, Manchester City, the front runner, because of course they need to replace Kyle Walker. And actually, they've been interesting that, again, one in, one out situation, that if Daniel Levy does sell Pedro Porro to one of the three potential suitors, who's going to come in? Well, the option, according to this Greek podcast, is that Premier League club Tottenham Hotspur is linked with a move for Panathinaikos right back Georgios Vagianidis. Georgios Vagianidis as a potential replacement for Pedro Porro. Would this be a good move, asked the podcast? Well, let's find out. Yeah, look. So, Georgios Vagianidis, he's 23 years of age. He's 1.82, so what's that? That's 5 foot. Is that 5'9"? Yeah, 5'9". Maybe a little bit taller. Maybe we'll call him 6 foot. He's a Greek international as well, born in Athens, beautiful city. Right back. This season, he has played in the Greek division, or the Greek Premier League, I suppose we'll call it that, 21 times, 1 goal. He does have, though, Europa League experience and Conference League experience, which is brilliant for just 23 years of age. He's played at these different age groups. Look, for Greece, under 17s, 18, 19s, and he's played for the men's team, the actual adults. I mean, that sounds patronising, but you know what I mean. He's graduated to play for the first team for Greece. Played 4 times. Did actually feature in a Greece team that beat England at Wembley a few months back in the UEFA Nations League. There you go, look. That was October in 2024. Yeah, it was a late goal, I recall. 94th minute winning goal. Yeah. Anyway, he's got international experience as well as played in the Europa League and the Conference League, and all in, if you look at his full stats, he's played, I think it's like, is it over 100 times? Yeah, there you go, look. He's played over 100 times for Panathinaikos, 3 goals, 5 assists. So a bit light on the assists. Would like to see a lot more than that. Although it depends, and I don't know Panathinaikos well, so I guess this is my call to you to crowdsource the answer. If you do know your Greek football, if you are Greek or an expat of Greece, living anywhere in the world, potentially in Germany, and there are some standout Greek footballers in Germany, right? You've got Georgios, the guy, Augsburg, what's his name? Giannopoulos? Is that right? Yeah. Anyway, the guy that scored that screamer against Munich in the Bavarian derby. Yeah, you've got, there's him, and there is Georgios Massaras for Bochum, who've just been relegated, and I'm sure there's a few more. Anyway, tell me, how do you pronounce that? Maybe you can spell it phonetically in the comment section down below. Tell me, where's he playing? I know he's playing at right back, obviously, but like, what's the setup? What's the system within which he's playing for Panathinaikos? Like, how much freedom has he got to go up and down? That's the question I'm trying to ask. So if we can help crowdsource that between us, that would be brilliant. Anyway, He is under contract, as you can see, until June 2028. His valuation is only €7 million. So if you sell Pedro Porro for 60, 65, Daniel Levy, you buy this guy, you could afford to buy 3 or 4 of this guy, put him out on loan. It's almost like spread betting. I suppose that is football, right? I suppose in a weird way. And you see this in Football Manager in certain people's approach. It is spread betting, right? It is scouting the world for wonder kids, train them up, put them out on loan, bring them back up, give them game time, sell them on, bank the profit. That is number one, isn't it? That is business. That is business. Anyway, they could get in this lad. Like I say, he's played 21 times this season in the Super League 1 in Greece. Again, Conference League experience, Europa League experience, which is absolutely brilliant. And the backup option, though, and this is someone that Bayern Munich, FC Bayern should consider, and we've called him out before, is the Brazilian Vanderson. Now, at 1m73, he is pocket-sized. That's 5'6". Again, I'm not sizist, just trying to make out that, okay, put another way then. At 5'6", he's very agile. Got a low centre of gravity, very fast. There you go, because he's a lot of traction, right? Because he's closer to the ground. Anyway, Vanderson, he's Brazilian. He has played for the national team 5 times. Similar, actually, to Nadim Amiri for Die Mineshaft, right? He was picked a few years ago when Hansi Flick first came in and then was cast out into the wilderness. But then Julian Nagelsmann played Nadim Amiri recently. Amiri got a couple of starts against Italy in the UEFA Nations League, and you can see here, look. So he was playing in 23, and then he was injured, and he wasn't in the squad, and he's been back again. All right, he did play in Brazil's 4-1 loss to Argentina, but in a weird way, that lack of form and that loss, that's brought in the Don, isn't it? Carlo Ancelotti's coming to coach Brazil off the back of that, so in a way, careful what you wish for. Everyone gets what they want. Anyway, back to Vanderson. They are. Again, he's under contract with Monaco in Ligue 1 until June 28. 20 million valuation. I can see that being a lot higher, actually. There's quite a few people interested in Vanderson. Previously played for Grêmio in Brazil, and he was signed for 11 million. So obviously they look, Monaco looking to profit on him. Monaco, formerly coached by the Professor Arsene Wenger. This season, though, in Ligue 1, as you can see here, played 28 times, 1 goal, 3 assists. Yeah, very good. Well done. That's Vanderson. That's another option for both. Well, an option for Tottenham should they sell Pedro Porro. And actually, it's an option directly for Munich. Skip the middleman, go straight to this guy. And it's just worth calling out that Porro was on the radar of Munich way back in 22. There you go. Anyway, there's your man. There's Pedro Porro, the Spaniard, international experience. Played in Portugal for Sporting Club. Has played international football. He's played around Europe. Is he going to end up going to FC Bayern? Call out there to all FC Bayern fans. Do you want him? What do you think of him to start with? And do you want him to come in at right back? Or would you rather get a Vanderson? Or would you rather squeeze out another season with King Conrad Lima? Let me know what your thoughts are, because you know the drill, down in the comment section down below. We've enjoyed this one. Hope you have too. Let us know by smashing that like button. Show those fingers, hover them over, and just whack that subscribe. Yeah. Smash the like, whack the subscribe, and tell your friends. Tell your classmates, your workmates, your family when you're out and about and you're in with a shout and you're watching the Bundesliga, you're watching the Premier League, you're watching La Liga, you're watching any football this weekend. Think about Gonzo and I. Think about this German football spotlight channel. Spread the word. Everyone's welcome here. We're passionate. We do this full time. We care. I know you care, so we care too. Anyway, enjoy the football. Let me know your thoughts about Pedro Porro, and ciao ciao for now. Ciao ciao.